Well, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to take a little trip down memory lane and we're going to revisit Call of Duty Ghosts. And the reason I wanted to do this today out of absolutely nowhere is because obviously with the Call of Duty community right now being very burnt out with the 2 Modern Warfare games in a row and then the 2 Black Ops games in a row, and then Call of Duty coming out and saying, hey, we're not going to do that again. It's got people stirred up a little bit, wondering, what another title could be. And I saw a lot of people on Twitter mention this recently, wanting Call of Duty Ghosts 2. And so I actually thought to myself, let me ponder this decision that people are saying, because obviously Infinity Ward title is next. It probably wouldn't be this game, obviously, because it's already done. But it might be, maybe this is the 2028 title or 2029. I don't know. But either way, I was like, okay, if people want Call of Duty Ghosts 2, let's think about Call of Duty Ghosts when it came out. Now, this game is somehow 12 years old. I think it came out in November of 23, 1 year after Black Ops 2. And that's kind of where I want to start with it. Because regardless of what your opinion is about Call of Duty Ghosts, I think we have to kind of cut it a little slack. Now, in the moment, I did not cut it any slack, but in the moment, you have to realize that this game is coming out after one of the greatest Call of Duties, if not the greatest Call of Duty of all time. Now, I'm not saying that we should let it off the hook for some of the decisions that they made, but I think we have to be aware of that. And we also have to be aware of the studios kind of switching up, like a lot of the issues with, Infinity Ward and the MW2, like those people that made those amazing games a lot of them were gone. So it's like, this was their first game with this new leadership, I feel like. So I want to mention that, but I have a list here of some good things, some bad things, and some things that I'm just kind of indifferent about. And I want to kind of go over these. And of course, in the comments, I need you guys to let me know where you think I'm wrong, where you think I'm right. And obviously, I need you to tell me your favorite thing about this game and also your least favorite. I know there's going to be some COD Ghost fanboys out there. You got to at least mention one bad thing, because don't tell me there wasn't anything bad about this game. But for my good, I actually want to start off with the campaign. And this might be a controversial take, but I've seen people not like this campaign, and in my opinion, I actually thought it was one of maybe not the strongest campaigns, but I really liked the premise. I love the idea of this Odin. I love the characters. I love the war-torn world. I think one of my favorite settings is Fallout in a video game and in a TV show, and this really felt like it was as close as COD was going to get to that. And overall, I mean, I really feel like it had some strong moments. I mean, Riley the dog, I mean, that's pretty cool. And obviously we know now that it ended with a cliffhanger. And I don't think anybody really expected that cliffhanger. So I can see the people's reasoning for wanting to get COD Ghost 2 to see what happened with the story. And also, I mean, one of my favorite missions and most memorable missions is the opening. I guess it's the first 2 missions technically, because the first mission you're just like, you're running, but then it cuts to like the space station. And I remember being whatever I was, 20 years old, and being amazed at how good that looked. That space station shot and like gameplay inside of there was so cool. And so I'm going to give a good check to the campaign, despite maybe what a lot of you think. And I want to replay it actually sometime soon on a stream, and we'll see what happens. And now obviously we can go into the multiplayer side of things, and believe it or not, I think they actually did a lot right looking back on it. Now there's a lot that they did wrong, and we'll get to that. But I want to mention a few things. Number one, I actually really like the guns in this game. Had a lot of memorable weapons. I think that all of them had a lot of personality. I think when Call of Duty, when the guns have different personality, it makes an amazing Call of Duty. As a recent one, I can tell you Cold War MW19, they give me that vibe. Everyone had a unique feel. Everyone had like, you remember guns. the Remington, the MTAR, the Vector. They were so cool. And then they brought in like the Ripper and like this DLC gun. And I just really felt like, I guess personality is the word I've already used 10 times, but they had personality and I really liked using them. So on top of the guns thing, I feel like we have to talk about hit detection. With multiplayer, I think this is super important. I think Infinity Ward gets it right a lot of the time versus Treyarch. I'm a Treyarch fanboy, at least I was. And, you know, Treyarch always had a little bit of wonky hit detection. And COD Ghosts, the hit detection was incredible. And it actually leads to something in the bad category, but I just thought it was crazy good in Ghosts, especially in a time where, you know, connection, not everybody has the greatest connection out there. This is not today's world where everybody's got 1,000 download speed. This was an era where what was it, DSL? Was that what it was called back then? And, you know, you were kind of higher up if you had better connection. So I got to give it to them for the hit detection on this one. Next up, within multiplayer, I really like the fact that they tried something new with the perk system. I got to give Infinity Ward this, and I will continue to say this. They like to try a lot of new stuff. Going back to Ghosts, going back to MW2, the new one, they will try different stuff, and they will sometimes hit and sometimes miss. And I think that this perk system, despite being a little confusing, I thought it was something new that they were going for, and I actually wouldn't hate it. And I think this goes back to like how we talked about each game feeling unique. Like, how cool would this be if this was Infinity Ward's perk system, and then Treyarch's was the pick 10, and then Sledgehammer's was the gunsmith? So every year we got something new. And I know that's tying in today, but I feel like this could have been something that they kept pursuing, and then they went back to the old thing when IW came out. So really liked the perk system. Felt like it gave you different combinations, and that's always the best perk systems in my opinion. That's why pick 10 was so cool. You could have 25 perks and a gun with no attachments, or you could have a gun with 8 attachments and you'd have to lose your perks. And I think that makes the games feel different. So I really like the perk systems. Now, going into, I guess we could go into the game modes real quickly. Dude, they threw in a couple new ones this year, and I always remember them. You have to let me know if you do too. Blitz and Cranked. I don't know what it was. I feel like they had to make Cranked because of another issue in the game, which we'll also talk about. And obviously Blitz was just this game where you ran and tried to like kind of sneak past the enemy base to get into this little hole, and it like counted as a point. It was almost like capture the flag, but when you hit the flag, you got sent back to your base. And so, and then Cranked was, you get a kill, you get like this fast, crazy speed burst, and you have to get a kill in a certain amount of time, or you just blow up. And I just thought they played so fun. S&D played really well in this game. So the modes overall, TDM was probably the worst mode in this game, believe it or not. And then last thing I would say would be the monetization. I feel like they did a great job of bouncing off of what BO2 did, and everything was semi-cheap. The camos went on all the guns. They brought in the voice lines, and they were pretty cheap. They were like $2.99. Now, am I a fan of the Snoop Dogg? Not really, but they had like a soldier, which was kind of cool. And I felt like it never got too weird. And on top of that, monetization also brought the DLC packs. And I think what kind of saved this game was the DLC. There was the Predator DLC, the Michael Myers DLC, and they felt unique because guess what? They were only available on those maps. You never lost the era of Ghost because Michael Myers wasn't on Stonehaven. Michael Myers wasn't on Strike Zone. Michael Myers was on that one map in the DLC pack. So it made it unique and fun, and it wasn't something that always happened. And so it wasn't weird. On top of that, you know, I guess one more positive is the field orders. And it kind of goes in with the Michael Myers thing because you got it through a field order. But it was something new that they tried. A field order would pop out of somebody when they died. You would pick it up, and then you would have a challenge to complete something, then you would get something. More notably, the one from like Strike Zone where you got a chem strike and the whole map blew up and changed scenery. I think that's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. So that's my good. So when you think about it, Ghosts had a lot of good, but now we got to talk about the bad. And the bad, I think, kind of also tie in with them trying to do a little bit of different stuff. And this is what happens. So first of all, to go back to my hit detection point, hit detection was really good, which also created a problem because the TTK was so fast in this game. I mean, you died in what felt like a bullet or two. Now, some people like fast TTK. I personally do not, because I feel like it's less skill involved, but I know that'll create another discussion here. It causes camping. People don't move and they can kill you in 2 bullets when you're the one running around. So I don't know if it tied along with it, but because the hit detection was so good, it made the TTK even faster than it probably already was. So the TTK might not have been like, by the way, TTK is time to kill. It might not have been like this insane quick, but because of the hit detection being fantastic, it made it that. So I wish they would have bumped up that just a little bit more. Just take a bullet or 2 more, and I would have loved that. And this ties into the next point as well, is the maps were just too big, man. The maps were just iconically bad. Like, that's the sad part. These are iconic for being bad. Like, you can say the names of maps because of how big they were, how bad they were. And really, when you think about it, this game maybe had like 3 good maps. I'm thinking of Warhawk, I'm thinking of Strike Zone, and what's the one that's in the sand? I can't remember right now. Octane, maybe? Maybe it's Octane, but they just didn't work. There was when your TTK is that fast and you have to run around an entire map. Stonehaven, I'm still trying to find somebody in Stonehaven, guys. When you're running around for 45 minutes and you die to somebody camping in a corner in 2 bullets, you don't want to play the game anymore. It's a very terrible experience. And on top of that, they had these dynamic maps, free fall. Oh, baby, that was bad. And they didn't work. They were trying to, I feel like they were trying to copy Battlefield in this sense. And this is where they started trying to copy rather than to innovate. And they started copying Battlefield's maps, like the big size, the gas station blowing up, the map moving in free fall, the tree falling in that one map. I can't remember what it's called right now. Maybe Hunted. That's not it. Prison Break. That's, I think, what it is. And it just didn't work. Streaks in general in this game were very, very bad. They were forgettable. And part of the reason I think they were forgettable was a change that they made early on with the SATCOM becoming a UAV instead of a UAV. UAV is just stock Call of Duty. 3-4 kills, you call it in, you get a sweeping radar. They made you work for it. They made you get a SATCOM, drop it down. It didn't bring up the people. You had to get another one. Exhausting, waste of time. Very team-oriented in a game that's really not that team-oriented. And so SATCOM was a very bad move. And one thing that I remember from this game, the streaks-wise, was the IMS. Now, technically, this IMS is actually very, very good. But my goodness, was it annoying. Holy crap. I can just hear that ding, and then you would just explode 5 seconds later. No, 1 second later. They were so annoying. And they're really, I felt like to me, there was no counter besides like destroy them. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but wow, they were annoying. And so I guess another bad thing I would add to it is coming off of BO2, where it was a little bit more of a colorful Call of Duty. This one felt very dull, and I'm not opposed to that because I feel like COD 4, when you look back on it, it's pretty dull. But I think going, like, having these large maps that were dull and just an overall product of war-torn, it kind of wears on the multiplayer a little bit, whereas the campaign, it felt good because it's like that's part of the story. This one felt like it needed 1 or 2 friendly maps, but you know, I can't, you know, what is it, eat my cake and whatever too, that's saying. It's like, I feel like I always beg for all the premises to feel kind of similar. So at this one, I'm kind of like not mad at it. I think it just struggled because BO2 was a little bit more of a colorful COD, and then it became really dull very fast. So those are my bad, and I feel like those bad really do affect the normal gameplay. But overall, I mean, yeah, there's a decent amount of bad in this game. Now, on top of that, I have two quick things that I feel like I'm indifferent about. Extinction mode, I didn't really play it. I hear from a lot of you guys that it was amazing. I did the first level. It's okay. I don't really care. I'm more of a zombies guy, OG zombies guy. They tried something new. I don't hate it. I respect it, but don't care. And then last, they actually brought they were kind of the first studio to remaster, and they brought back Shipment, but this time it was called Showtime. And Showtime was a little bit different than Shipment. It was a little bit bigger. So it's something to think about. Maybe instead of bringing back these one-to-one remasters, which Infinity Ward likes to do this, they like to change a little bit of stuff up around it. And I'm starting to think that I might actually like that. So rather than get, what was it, Crash in MW19, there was a couple areas that they added. I don't know if I hate it. I'm indifferent to it, but I'm leaning towards I kind of like it. So anyway, guys, that's my Call of Duty Ghost kind of good, bad, indifferent list. I just want to kind of talk about it because a lot of hype on Ghost 2 lately. People wanting Ghost 2. So maybe Call of Duty sees this video, Infinity Ward, and they go, maybe it's time to bring back that series. And at this point, it's been so long, I don't actually hate it. But again, it runs into that problem of, do people actually care? BO2 nostalgia didn't really work. Is Ghost nostalgia gonna work? I don't know. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We might do a couple more of these little retrospectives on some games. But again, let me know what your favorite thing about this game is, your least favorite. Of course, if you enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe. And we're probably live right now as of recording this video. Trying to do Monday through Friday, like 11 or 12 to 1 Eastern, just chat with you guys, hang out. So come swing through Twitch, YouTube, all that good stuff. Okay, I'm done. I'm stopping the rant. See you tomorrow.